How did you react when you first heard that?
Well, I think, when I got the message, my first reaction, being Nigerian, one, knowing Trump, knowing Nigeria, is to go sort of defensive. And, my trigger was patriotic button. But the knowledge of Trump and the knowledge of Nigeria allows you to pause to say one thing. Trump, defender of Christianism, I cannot help but chuckle at the idea when you think of the man, his own story, his relationship with theology, the Bible in general. For him to be that defender is a bit odd. So you think about it and say, what is he up to? But you think about Nigeria, you know, perhaps because I'm a Lagos person, perhaps because I dwell mostly in Abuja and western part of Nigeria. It's very hard for me to really see a design to say people are killing Christians because the word, and again, perhaps because of my relationship with words, with languages, to say, genocide is a very big thing. You think that. But then again, when you look at it, that it is true that people have been killed, Christians have been killed. It is true that churches have been burnt. It is true that there's some Nigerians who have been using the term Christian genocide. It is true that the sitting president at some point has talked about the killing of Muslims and Christians and has asked the former, the then president, to be more decisive. So that is Trump. I think what we need to look at is our own reaction as a people and as a government. And I think as people and government, our reaction has to be very calm, very wise, and very informed. The good thing to do is to go with an open mind, beyond the words of Trump, to say, there, Mr. Trump, can you please show us, or before him, Senator Cruz, who started the state, can you share with us this intel that have made you come to this conclusion without being defensive? That is what we citizens, intellectual observers, and media people like city people and other entities should do. Can you please show us what led you to say? We're very open minded. Then after that, government now, not people, needs to prove that one, they are not conniving to kill Christians or anybody. They need to prove what they've done so far. They need to prove what they intend to do. And before that, what they are doing to show that they're not part of it. I think for someone like me, who's known for criticizing President Tinubu a lot, and I'll continue to criticize him if he does anything wrong. If he does something good, I guess I'll keep quiet. But if it's bad, I'll be there to say it. I think it is wrong, though, to, under the watch of Tinubu, paint Nigeria as a country of Christian genocide. Because calling a country where genocide happens, implies that the government of the day is somehow colluding to allow that to happen. I think it's wrong because Tinubu, with his personal life, with his political life, in good and bad, he has never been committed to a religion. If anything, he has built a bridge, to other places. Like a true Yoruba man is a Muslim married to a Christian. That's a very Yoruba saying. It's going to be very tough to find a Yoruba man who's that way to any religion. It is culture trumps faith in Yoruba culture. Maybe not faith. Culture trumps religion in Yoruba culture. So that's not the way. I think there's a fundamental error in the way America is going about it. Because the ideal strategic way would have been to have made this president their ally to fight the issue. But then, perhaps more importantly, is that we should do our part, regardless of what people say about it, because that is what matters ultimately. What matters for government is to govern well. Because if you govern well, your archest of enemy will not be able to get you down. And it's very difficult. But if you do not do the right thing, your best friend might not be able to save you. So that is my view that we should do that. We should keep an open mind. There's a lot of conspiracy theory that they say they want our natural materials because we didn't agree on Venezuela. Maybe, politics is always full of intricacy, but my bit is that we should do our best and turn this opportunity as a chance to redefine Nigeria. I think there's an opportunity to create an alliance between patriotic Nigeria, both of Christian faith and Islamic faith, to come together and say, no, this thing is not really like this. I also think one thing. I also think the government should reach out to Christian leaders across the country for them to show that, yes, there is a general problem of security, but we do not think there is a design. You see, because that's the definition of genocide, a deliberate design to eliminate a large group of people. You know, they need to come out and say, we do not think there is a deliberate design to wipe out Christians. Unless they think so, then they have to tell us why, when, and how. But I also think that the president or the government needs to reach out to Muslim leaders as well. And let me call out the Sultan of Sokoto directly. I'm not the one that made his words. And other leaders of myself, and those ones in the Southwest who have been more Islamic than Mohammed, they need to come out to say, we condemn any individual organization that is killing in the name of our God, in the name of our name. We do not want that to happen. They need to have what I call a not in my name moment. And they also need to say, we do not do that. If they say that we've done it before, we don't need to, we should increase, we say to do it, because this is the time to be pedantic for God and for country. It is not enough. And I've seen some people say they should do a joint thing. No, they should not do a joint thing. It is wrong for the accused and the perceived victim to stand together. That is wrong. We're in different situations now. Everybody should take their stand. And I also think that two things are missing. Number one is that there's no empathy in the way the American government is treating this, and the way some people who are not affected are treating it. You see, if you're a Muslim, or if you know a Muslim, or you can feel you're a Muslim, it's a bad thing for you to feel that they say people of your religion are killing other people. Because we don't think that way. Because some people have not led a life that has allowed them to know Muslim and Christians every day. No matter how Christian you are, if you have a Muslim friend, you won't like that person to feeling that way. Then there are also some people jubilating about the embarrassment for Nigeria. That's a very terrible thing, because you can criticize the government, you can be hoping that the government fails, fails election, but you don't hope that your country is in trouble. Because the consequence of this kind of embarrassment is that travelers, investors, collaborators, partners, people interested will think twice if they say that is what is happening there. Somebody might read the headline and say, Nigeria Christian genocide, and they close everything with Nigeria. We don't need that now. What we need is moving forward. If you don't like the president, give him 2 years, don't vote against him. But for now, you have to move the country forward, is what I think.
The institution of President Trump. I'm interested in knowing your view. Of course, there's been a lot of assertions, opinions regarding why President Trump was saying this time around. So, what do you think actually was the reason behind President Trump's assertion?
Well, we don't know.
He's really afraid.
He's really afraid. We don't know. Historically, he's put Nigeria on that list before, when he was president before. So he's just come back to do it now. I think he has a worldview that is affected by two things: the people around him and his own personality. The people around him, like Ted Cruz and some evangelists, Christian, who see the world in white and black. And Nigeria belongs to the dark side for them, for various reasons. So I think he's free of that. Trump is also a very personal person. We discussed about this. He's the kind of person like you tell him something he believes, as long as it's not against him. And he likes to fight. He likes to have an enemy to fight. He fits into a scenario of tough America outside there. That's why he said, we're going there, we're going blazing. That's the kind of language. He's a typical person who has never been to war before that likes war. Generals who have gone to war think twice before they talk about war. But people who have not gone to war, they say it that way. If you look at people who were part of Nadeko thing, or people who were part of the Biafra war, They think it twice before they think let's blow up the place. But people have not experienced it. They jump at it. So it's typical. I think so. When you talk about the reason, I think there's a problem in our foreign policy. And here I go back to blame the government. Somehow we have not been able to conceptualize and articulate a strategic relationship with Trump's America. We should have forecasted that. I mean, the media is doing it. There's a lot of interviews. How do you see the future? I think the government should have thought, who is Trump? What should we expect from him? So that we don't play catch up. I think the trip to America, unless they didn't accept the Nigerian president, Tinubu should have seen Trump about a year ago and become his best friend in Africa. That's who Trump is. He's a very personal, very human kind of person. If your country is a moderate country, if he likes you, he'll be friends with you. And if your country is the same, he doesn't like you, you're in trouble. So I think, say what you like, but the British Prime Minister understands that and he has developed that kind of relationship with you. He's gone to US, I think twice. He's invited him to see the King of England. So, that's thinking ahead. We need to, maybe we don't have the clout of the British Prime Minister, but in our own way, we need to think a lot. And here, the lack of ambassador comes to play as well. Those are little I don't get that we should have. Honestly, I don't understand what we're on that way. I think I don't understand. Instead of saying I'm against us not having it, because I think the error is too clear that they shouldn't be making such error. So I think we should look at it that way.
Then I was also going to ask you, some people have come up with the fact that Nigeria is said to be very active in terms of economic relations with the US, the way they're doing with France, with China, other countries, and that shifts.
We don't have a lot to offer them. We have to be very clear about it. We have to, tell ourselves the truth. We say a lot of things. We have people, but we don't have products. What is it that we're giving America at the moment? All they have oil. You can get oil from elsewhere. Perhaps, of course, they get from us, but we haven't got one unique thing. When Trump listed out the tariffs, guess who was hit hard? Guess who became known? A small country called Lesotho. Because they were doing jeans. We don't have anything to say, this is one thing we're doing that America relies on. We have our media, we have our, what they call the singers, bit of thing, but it's not something that is so big. And that's what we need to start thinking about. People we need products, we need service, we need some unique things. The African Americans that live in America, they're going to Ghana and Nigeria, Ghana a few weeks ago. The people are there. We have not, for example, created a program to make Nigeria the place to be for African Americans. Unfortunately, in life, good things do not happen accidentally. You have to be deliberate about it. You have to be deliberate. That is, you have to target what you want to do. You have to have a plan. You have to go for it. You see this hall we're in. It wasn't like this a year ago. So I don't know. You see, you have to think. Let's paint, let's do it. That's the way the world goes. We're not doing that. And it's not organic, to use the language. It has to be boosted.
So somehow, you have the opinion that we didn't come up with a proper policy and the section of
The abstention of Trump.
Yeah.
I think so. If we did, it's not working. Because if we did, we won't be where we are today. But I also think, as a strategy, I think if we did, there's something that we should have done that that we've not done. It is true that it's difficult to predict Trump. But if you look as unpredictable as he is, once you know his interest, you can deal with it. You can deal with it. That's the whole thing. I believe we didn't have to turn down the Venezuelans in the way we did. We could talk, not turn. We could engage with them. There are things that we're not bearing in mind who we're dealing with. This is not Clinton. This is not Bush. This is Trump. This is Trump. This is a man with orange hair.
So moving forward, what do you advise? Let's go down.
Well, I think we just need to go back inside and realize that we've not taken the right step and we plan. We need to be calm, we need to be wise, and we need to be strategic. We need to know our strengths, but also our limits. Our limits, but also our strengths. We need to be very careful that this is who we are, this is what we lack, and this is what we can. I think what we should be seeking from Trump now is look, don't blacklist us. Let's work together against this terrorism thing. We should have that conversation. We should show that no, it's not true. We are the government as people are not terrorists. We're suffering from terrorism as well. Let's work together and fight it. That's what we should do. Partnership, not blacklisting.
Okay, sir. For those who are calling for President Trump's military invasion
Yeah.
in another part of Nigeria, what are the implications?
Well, the implication, well, if it's going to be military invasion, let them do with our government. If they can prove that terrorists are there, they know where they are, then let's work in partnership and go and do it. There's no shame in letting people come and help you do what you cannot do by yourself. But it has to be, a problem you have. It's like somebody telling me they want to sell me cream that will make my beard grow. That is not a problem I have. If somebody tells me they want to sell me cream from not going bald, that's not a problem I have. So it has to be a problem that one has, then we work together to do it. If we have a problem like that, then I believe yes. I believe they can come in, but in partnership with our people, with very clear, of course, not publicly declared, but with the right intel, with the right our own group as well, they work together and they deal with the problem. It's going to be suspicious for somebody to say, even though we have terrorists, we don't want outsiders to help us. No, I don't buy into that. I think if we cannot solve our problem, let's attack help. Intelligently, but let's attack help. Patriotism is not blindness, it is passion.